Well, good Saturday. Yeah, what day is it today? I don't know. Yeah, it's Saturday. It's just shy of 3 o'clock. Figured I'd pop off a video. I haven't done anything in a while. Been a little busy. Trying to get some stuff ready for vacation. And that gimbal thing I have, the smooth Q. And you know what? Par for course. Every video, I literally had no cat in this room until I sat down and I hit record and she jumped up on my lap. You say hi? You can do anything? Anyway. So, I figured I'd just talk about a little bit what's going on, where I'm at, waiting for some stuff. Sad news, the badass whip, and there'll be a point too, but I don't want to jump ahead of myself. The whip is dead. Don't ask me what happened. I was flying one day great, and the next day I go outside to fly, go around the yard, do my usual warm up, fly around certain spots, do a flip, this and that, make sure everything's great before I start shooting into the space, stars, moon, and I do a quick flip over the fence in the yard and it does a death spiral. And after trial and couldn't figure it out, I lost my marbles and completely gutted the damn thing. The motors could have been warm. I found some of this shit out earlier in the midst of trying to figure out what was going on. I'll move this light down a little bit. It was doing the death roll first, and this may have something to do with that beta flight 10.0.1 or whatever the hell it was that people are having issues with. This was the only guy I've been messing with lately, so on the update, this was the only one plugged in. So I started noticing the death roll, and it would only be when I flipped forward or back that it would act up. If I rolled, it was completely fine. It didn't fast, slow, take your sweet time, ballet, doesn't matter. When I front flipped, if you went mega slow, it was fine. But as soon as you put a little oomph in the stick, it just instantly lost itself. Tried everything, messed with setting, talked to the guys, and I couldn't figure anything out. And in the midst of that, realizing what was going on with beta flight, so reflashed and did everything I possibly could. And then it arose another problem within 30 seconds of flight. I'd literally launch it, shoot to the end of the yard, and come back, and the motors were basically on fire. This could have been due to that. Who the hell knows? It definitely smoked something in here. I don't know. So my buddy Space wants the stack to see if there's anything he can do or any part of it is good. So I cut off all the wires, the plug. I'm going to send it out to him, and I'm going to volunteer the frame. I don't know where I put the new stack. I just sit down and go, hey, I'd love to do a video and not fucking think. Here we go. Alright, so I got this little guy. This is the Emax Magnum or something stack. It's only a V3, but it's alright. I am not super concerned for these little guys. They fly super good. I wanted something I could just slap together real quick, and it already had a buzzer built in, which was a pain in the ass for this thing, because I had to hot glue it to the top, or I'm not even up here. I had to hot glue it to the top of where, I had the stack, and then I had the receiver, and then I glued that to that. And I didn't like the way it looked. I like my birds to look pretty. It's pretty awesome. I like them to look awesome. Fucking awesome. Forget that pretty shit. I like them to look awesome and, try to tuck and hide wires, but to have a buzzer on it, there was no place to tuck it anywhere. So I did it for ease, just for there. This guy already has the damn thing right here. I have a surprise frame coming. I haven't seen anybody in our local area or group messing with it. Shouts to Albert Kim. He's the one that turned me on to the frame. He did a review on it. This is a 90mm, and I'm going to go to I believe it's a 110. So the stack will have plenty of room. What the hell? It had the VTX, whatever the hell came in that, the TBS Unify or something like that. I liked it, but it's a pain in the balls to figure out the beeps and the freaking lights and shit, figuring out what VTX. So I may swap that, and I may do the VTX 02. I don't remember if I bought the 2 or 3, whatever. But there'll be plenty of room on this frame to put it underneath, and I'm really tossed. I'm really tossed. I love this little controller. It doesn't have the switches. If I bitch, the only thing I don't like is that it's only got one switch on each side, where I've been running Spectrum, and I've got my arm disarm, and then I had a switch in this general area for switching my modes, which my hands got used to. So in a couple panic modes, I've gone and flipped the wrong damn switch because my modes are over there, and then flick this thing and the thing's falling out of the sky. Whatever, you live and you learn. But I have a brand new receiver to put to that. but I also have 2 of the tiny receivers for this guy. And at some point I am switching everything over to both of these remotes and gonna get rid of Spectrum. I love how that thing feels in my hand. I've just been so crazy with work and stuff that I haven't sat down and figured out a couple things to set it up. And I want to work because I'm nuts and I want the custom intro thing to pop up, and it's already saying some cool shit. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this guy in time, depending on how work is during the week. In the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I replaced a couple things. I swapped the motors because one of them was bent, and then I remember crashing, and I ended up breaking part of the stack, just the plastic part. So I replaced that, and I still found that I was getting a tremor at a certain percentage throttle. You can see it actually wobble and it smooths out. And if you go back to some of my flight footage, you'll actually see it. Considering this is my poor boy and my beater, I'm like, should I just leave it alone? But I try different stuff. I go a little more aggressive with this one. So I put the GoPro on here, and I want to get rid of that shake because it's super, super noticeable. So I am going to I got an older, shouts to eBay, that's where I bought it, an Omnibus F3. They're only like $15, but again, this is my poor boy. Every part on this has been donated. The original set of motors I bought, I got these free on Get FPV. Yeah. The frame was donated, all the wire. I bought the batteries and stuff. I had the VTX, but most of it is donated, and I wanted to stay on that theory with not getting expensive stuff and fought very hard not to put something expensive into it. But I have this kick-ass thing here, and I was messing with this afternoon while I've had some free time. It has the actual plug. I found one of these crazy plugs. I just had to repin it to match the ground power if I even use this one, and then the motor wires and then I pinned it so it matches on this side. It doesn't have power because the board is actually powered right from the battery, so I may eliminate that wire and do the same with here. But I have the plug already for a receiver Spectrum to plug right in, no problem. Or do I go in and put one of the minis that I got? Or do I... Why is it not focusing? There we go. Do I start my journey on there? I'm tossed up. Like I said, I want to just go fly it on vacation and not mess with it. So I don't know. And I don't want to retweak and tune with the little bit of time I got left. Or I just might leave the damn thing. I don't know. Or leave it home and Reaper. I'll tell you guys a quick happy sad story. I touched on it a little bit before. Let's see, I got 2 minutes. Notice it looks slightly different. Slightly green. Ow. And it's got goop like an alien. It's got teeth. I built it. I went and test flew it. I did line of sight. Everything worked phenomenal. And then I put the goggles on, did a quick, just back and forth in the yard, quick flip. Everything was great. So I went into the road, went up the road, power looped it, and was completely upside down, doing 50 miles an hour or whatever, upside down, and the video completely went out. So I panicked. When I said I panicked, I thankfully was able to flip it, rip my goggles off, and instead of putting it into the level mode and bring it down, I shut the fucking thing off, and it dropped Mach 1 onto the ground and completely exploded, and the cowls that Quadfather painted me are gone. I have one little piece left as a memorial up there. The rest, fucking gone. Very disappointed in myself. But long story short, just the heat shrink was a little tight on the upper part between the receiver and the VTX, and it ended up pulling the wire because I wired it the way where I powered the VTX, and then it came and powered the camera. It pulled the wire out of the VTX to power the camera, and ended up come crashing down. Live you learn. I changed up some stuff. I have flown it a couple times. Still nothing hectic. And it flies great, so I may bring this guy because this is more of my cinematic. It's not designed, especially with the camera being considerably higher, to do any kind of crazy flights with it because of the flight characteristic. It will float and it'll whip a little bit back and forth. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I got to do some packing. I've got 30 seconds before my thing stops. So I'll see you guys on the next flip, and stay tuned for some awesome whooping on the shore. And yeah, we'll have some fun. So peace out. We'll see you guys later.